The village of Obanta buzzed with whispers on the morning Adeyemi, a wealthy and influential trader, was found dead in his compound. Only days before, he had visited Amina, the most respected healer in the village, for his persistent cough. Amina had treated countless villagers for years, restoring the sick and easing pain with her knowledge of herbs passed down through generations. However, this time, her remedies did not work, and Adeyemi died unexpectedly after receiving her care. The village quickly turned its suspicions towards Amina. As rumors spread, many in the village began to believe that Adeyemi's death was no accident. His family accused Amina of neglect, claiming she had intentionally let him die because of an old dispute over land. Tensions boiled over, and soon some villagers started avoiding Amina. Fearful that her powers had grown dark, she remained silent, refusing to defend herself. Her calm demeanor fueling the accusations even further. Amina's daughter, Na, watched helplessly as her mother became an outcast. Na knew her mother was innocent, but the pressure from the village council and Adeyemi's influential family grew unbearable. The council ordered Amina to stop practicing healing until they could determine if she had been responsible for Adeyemi's death. For the first time in years, Amina's hut stood empty, and Nya vowed to uncover the truth behind Adeyemi's death. Determined to clear her mother's name, Nya began investigating Adeyemi's final days. She retracted his steps, speaking to those who had seen him before his death. Her instincts told her that something was not right. She learned from a market vendor that Adeyemi had spoken of a business deal gone wrong only few days before he fell ill. The vendor mentioned seeing Adeyemi arguing with another trader, a man named Benga, whose face was known for hiding many secrets. The conversation sent chills down Naya's spine. Naya approached Benga pretending to seek advice about trading. As they spoke, she carefully probed him about his relationship with Adeyemi. Benga was evasive, offering only vague answers about their business dealings. However, Naya noticed how his eyes flickered nervously whenever Adeyemi's name came up. Something in his demeanor suggested that he knew more than he was letting on. Naya began to suspect that Benga's rivalry with Adeyemi might have played a larger role in his death than the village realized. Late one evening, Naya overheard two men speaking in hushed tones near the docks. They spoke of Adeyemi's untimely death, but their words suggested they knew it was no accident. The more they talked, the clearer it became that someone had a vested interest in seeing Adeyemi gone, and they had used the healer's reputation to cover it up. Naya's heart raced as she realized that her mother had been framed to conceal a more sinister plot. Naya confronted her mother with what she had overheard, hoping for guidance. Amina, though calm, was not surprised. She had suspected that something larger was at play, but had chosen silence to avoid drawing further air from the villagers. The truth always reveals itself in time, Amina said softly, but Naya was not willing to wait. She was determined to act now before it was too late. to save her mother's reputation. Together, they decided that Naya would continue to investigate, but Amina warned her to be careful. The next day, Naya went to Adeyemi's widow under the guise of offering condolence. She softly steered the conversation toward Adeyemi's business affairs. The widow, grieving and tired, admitted that her husband had been under great stress before his death. He had been in the midst of negotiating a significant land deal, but the deal had fallen through after Gbenga, the rival trader, intervened. Naya's suspicion deepened. This land dispute was likely the motive for Adeyemi's murder. Naya's investigation took a darker turn when she found out that Gbenga had recently acquired the land that Adeyemi had once sought. It became clear that Gbenga had orchestrated the deal to take advantage of Adeyemi's death. However, Naya still needed proof of his involvement in the crime. She realized that to expose him, she would have to get closer to his associates, those who helped cover up the murder and spread the lies about her mother. Naya, knowing she was close to the truth, decided to take a risk. She approached Gbenga again, this time offering to help him expand his trading business in exchange for information. Gbenga, sensing an opportunity to exploit Naya's desperation, welcomed her into his cycle. Through careful manipulation, Naya befriended one of Gbenga's trusted men, Kojo. Over time, she gained his confidence and learned that Gbenga had not acted alone. Adeyemi had been poisoned. The herb used was rare, and Kojo boasted that it had been stolen from Amina's own store to ensure she took the blame. Naya's heart pounded as Kojo revealed how Gbenga had arranged the perfect plan to discredit Amina. They had carefully poisoned Adeyemi just after his treatment, knowing the illness would appear to be the healer's fault. With this new knowledge, Naya realized how deep the conspiracy ran. Gbenga was not only greedy, but ruthless, willing to destroy anyone in his way. The entire village had been manipulated into turning against her mother. Naya knew she had to act fast. She devised a plan to gather the final piece of evidence. Under the guise of meeting for a trade discussion, she invited Gbenga to her family's land, offering to sell him herbs her mother could no longer use. Gbenga, believing himself untouchable, accepted the offer without question. What he didn't know was that Naya had secretly invited the village elders to witness their exchange. On the day of the meeting, the village elders hid in the shadows as Naya met with Gbenga. She presented him with a bundle of herbs, and he, smug in his victory, began boasting about his rise to power and Adeyemi's downfall. As he talked, Gbenga let slip the details of how he had orchestrated the poisoning and framed Amina for the crime. The elders listened silently, shocked by the depth of his treachery. Just as Gbenga sealed his fate with his final words, the elders stepped out of their hiding places, their faces filled with anger and disappointment. Gbenga tried to flee, but the villagers soon caught him. The truth about Adeyemi's death was revealed, and Gbenga was sentenced to face justice for his crimes. The council publicly cleared Amina's name, and the healer was restored to her rightful place in the community. The villagers, ashamed of their hasty judgment, sought Amina's forgiveness. Though hurt, Amina forgave them, reminding the people that patience and truth always triumph in the end. Naya, having exposed the conspiracy, was hailed as a hero for her courage and determination. She had not only saved her mother's reputation, but had also brought peace back to the village. As life returned to normal, Naya felt a deep sense of pride in knowing that justice had been served, and she had proven that even the most complex webs of lies could be unraveled with persistence and heart.